Hello my friends, and also hello strangers, and welcome to Polyforest's spot review. Today I'm going to be discussing about this area as in depth as I can get, and by the end you should have a general idea what to expect in terms of experience, skill experience and money per hour from this place. If you are not aware, the area got buffed a couple of weeks ago. We got increased experience rates from this place. Last week we also got Marni stones for this area, so I suppose this is the perfect opportunity to actually test it and see what it has to offer compared to other areas. I'm gonna begin with my character because at least for once it's different, at least compared to the previous videos. So I tested this area mostly on my Mystic, my level 60 Mystic, because this area is in a way comparable to Bandits, so I wanted to grind on a character that actually did need the experience rates to actually have something to improve, and because I was kind of bored of my wizard in the first place. So for character I have a level 60 Mystic. For gear I have my main armors, my main character's accessories on it with weight limit armor, just for the sake of having maxed out attack speed and movement speed. And for my weapons I have blue grade ones at Tri, which comes down to a total of about 230 AP. I'm pretty sure you don't need that much because I was consistently able to one-shot the packs. I would say as a recommendation maybe around 200 AP, that should be enough. Then again I'm not sure because I didn't grind here in a very long time, and I remember before the revamp people used to say that this place was AP capped, so I'm pretty sure in the past you were not able to one-shot the packs, but these days on my Mystic it's always happening. I usually use 1 skills or 2 at most per pack to clear them, 2 just in case I miss a couple of monsters. For pets I have tier 3s, my mob knowledge is S, I didn't use any common steel blessings and I didn't use any loot scrolls or arsha, just simply bare grinding without any extra drop rate buffs. So that being said, let me show you the rotation, which is basically this one, should be playing in the background. This area I started grinding it when we had the I think this area was in the list of double respawn rates event last week, but it doesn't seem to be there anymore, and even after the maintenance I don't see any difference. The monsters respawn very quickly on their own. The rotation that I'm using, the one playing in the background, has more than enough monsters. I was never able to overclear the monsters, and in fact at times I wasn't even doing the full rotation. I might not even be showing the full rotation because I was often excluding some packs because I didn't need them. I didn't check other rotations on the area, but I'm pretty sure you can make at least, let's say, 3 rotations on this place. I didn't encounter that much PvP, although this area being kind of new and, as you will see soon enough, pretty good for experience. I did see people lurking around. A couple of times I had to switch servers. At times I will say this is the only place in the game where I think this area is a magnet for people who keep claiming that this is their spot. Like, I grind for half an hour and then someone suddenly pops up and he says this is my spot, I've been here for 1 hour, when I can clearly see that he wasn't. That happened a couple of times, so yeah. In the future, especially after some people see this video and others realize the experience rates here, I'm pretty sure it will get kind of contested, maybe, I'm not sure. But for now, at the time of making the video, I didn't really have that much of an issue. PvP, it never happened, and rotation, yeah, should be done playing by now. So let's get into the Excel file and talk about the relevant numbers and all of that stuff. So for my trash per hour, I'm gonna say I grinded 11 hours in total. Not all sessions were of exactly 1 hour because I just got bored halfway through or had to do some other stuff, but in total there are 14 sessions, 11 hours grinded, and the first run was slower than most of the others, 6.2 thousand trash per hour. Then there's this one at not even 6,000 trash per hour, run number 8, but besides those I was kind of consistently able to get around 7.5 to 8,000 trash per hour, often getting close to 8,000 trash per hour, especially on my last couple of runs where I was kind of trying to pay attention more. You can imagine in 11 hours I was watching Netflix often, I was sometimes chatting with my guildies or being distracted in other ways, so that's why maybe at times it decreased. But the run number 10, this is when I started, this one was done immediately after the maintenance. As you can see, it has monsters as well, because I started testing this before we got Marnie Stones added, and a few days ago, Wednesday, we got Marnie Stones for this area finally. So only the last 4 runs to 5 have monster values, and for those I was kind of trying to clear at my best performance. The very last run is my experience test on Ranger, because my Mystic is not level 61 yet, so I needed a level 61 character to test experience on, and that was my Ranger. I didn't include the Ranger run in the average trash per hour or the monsters per hour values, because my Ranger was a little bit slower than my Mystic, and I didn't feel like it would be fair to compare, to add a different class into this. The area was fully tested on my Mystic, and that's that. So let me quickly go through the money per hour, because there's not that much to say about it. It's pretty good, but I'm gonna start yeah. Starting off, we have trash, which is actually really good for this place. If you can get about 8,000 trash in 1 hour, the trash being 1.7 thousand each, you can easily get like 14 or 15 millions just from the trash itself. And besides that, you get also the water spirit fragments, which are also a form of secondary trash. These are worth 50,000 silver each, and you also sell those to the NPC. So those are your 2 types of trash. Black energy residue here drops really well. If you're looking for a place to grind for a Dragon Slayer weapon, this would be one of the top areas. You get at least 50 dust per hour or so, I would say. Then we have traces, are pretty relevant if you don't care about that. Dust and Caphras, those impress me quite a bit. Caphra stones, they don't have a significant drop rate over other areas. You either get 0, 1 or 2, but you get a lot of dust as pure drop. If I look at a run which was about an hour, this one I got 24 dust in 1 hour, on this one I got 34 dust in 1 hour, so that's an easy 5 or 6 Caphra stones extra that you make just from the dust. So I would say the trash and the Caphras combined make most of the income that you will see from this place. There are some blackstone drops, weapon ones not that much, you get some armor stones if you are into that. Then we have the Dew of Tranquil something, there's something more after that. This item you exchange it for Azula pieces if you need those. In my case I was selling them to the NPC for 100,000 silver each. Lifestones don't really sell to the marketplace that well, there are a ton of them registered at any given time, so I'm just gonna put here for now a 0 while we talk about the money per hour rate, because I believe the life spirit stones don't really sell to the marketplace and you will have to find some other way to make them into income. Voodoo dolls, I gave them the basic marketplace value, even though they don't really sell either, but if you make the scrolls, the voodoo scrolls, I'm pretty sure you can expect to make about the same value from them. So those don't drop in very high numbers, but they are still here. Forest breath, you do get those quite often compared to other spots, they do sell for a fairly decent price. You can even consider these to be the scrolls of Camasylvia, at least for this area. Petals just drops on any other spot. Mystical shards, I got 3 of them if you're interested in making that in-game costume. And then we have the Lemuria armor and chest. These are the Lemuria shoes are actually shown in-game in the loot table, so I was expecting to get these. I got 3 in total in 11 hours, but the Lemuria chest was very weird. I got only 1 of them in the very last run when I was testing experience on my ranger, and the Lemuria chest isn't even shown in-game as a droppable item for this place. So something tells me that the in-game item drop loot table, whatever it's named, is not exactly up to date. Besides those, I dropped 2 enhanced pieces here, a level 8, a plus 8 Lemuria shoe and a plus 3 Lemuria shoe, which I considered that you would sell to the marketplace just because. It's not exactly worth extracting the blackstones, since even the base Lemuria piece is worth more than those blackstones. Besides that, one last thing to mention about this loot table, I did encounter, I believe, 2 of those traveling NPCs, not NPCs, the monster that spawns in Valencia and Camasilvia, and if you kill it, it's like an elite, it drops a chest, and from that you can expect some random loot. I forgot what the name was, but I will put it while editing. I believe I encountered 2 of those, and one of them I got to kill, the other one I didn't because I didn't pay attention, not sure. I may have seen more of them throughout my 10 hours or 11 hours, but I guess I just didn't pay attention to kill them, because there is some yellow message that pops on the screen and you have to kill it quickly before it disappears. After I killed it, it dropped a couple of items, 2 of them being these tier thing and the Valdara relic fragments, which you can exchange in Camasilvia, the city, to actually get more cash. Those are, it basically gives you 2 more or 1 more type of item that you sell directly to an NPC. All of that gets added to a total of 34 millions per hour without including the lifestones, and if I put back the values on the lifestones, that would be a 39 millions per hour spot, which is actually quite surprising. When I started, I thought this area would end up around 25 to 30 millions per hour, but surprisingly it got close to 40 millions per hour, assuming you could actually sell the lifestones, which do drop in quite high quantity. I would say it's probably 35 because these will never sell, but even so, 35 is a little bit higher than what I got at Gahaz Bandits, so already it's looking very good for this place. Mostly because Kavra stones are expensive and you get a lot of dust, so that's, as I said, trash and Kavras is what carries this spot. Moving on, let's get into the money per hour rates. Correction, I meant to say experience in the video, so we are getting into the experience per hour values. As I said, I had that last run tested on the Ranger, which is kind of 2 different runs split, a very short 13 minutes and a 22 one. I mostly used the 22, they are pretty similar, but still. I used the level 61 Ranger run. The first one was at 4.3 thousand monsters per hour rate. The second one, the faster one, I guess after I remembered how to play Ranger, the second one was 5,000 monsters per hour clearing speed on my Ranger, while my Mystic was averaging 5.5 thousand monsters per hour, so my Ranger was slower than my Mystic. Still, converting, wait, no, I didn't convert it. I left the official experience rate at the 5,000 monsters per hour because throughout this series I had either the Ranger or the Wizard as experienced characters, so I wanted my official experience rate for this place to be from my Ranger's perspective. So 5,000 monsters per hour killed is my baseline for experience rate here, and that results in these 2 numbers: 2 skill points level up and 55% per hour, and 0.134 normal experience per hour. You can see them right here, easier that way. For Marnie stones, I turned in 11 of those 250 stones and saw the experience from that, and after I saw these values, I honestly was very impressed, because if I look at my 400% comparison chart, this area actually does perform a lot better than my previous areas. Like, I said in the Underwater Ruins video that finally some area was able to beat Fogans, Nagas and Bandits. Well, Polyforest, the new one after the buffs, actually has a higher experience rate than Nagas, Bandits and Fogans. So finally I can recommend something else besides those 3 spots. And on top of that, if it wasn't enough that it has higher experience, look at the skill experience. All of these spots at best gave me one skill point level up and 80% at the base skill experience rate, and Polyforest got a whopping 2 skill points and a half, so it's noticeably higher. It's so far the best skill experience I've seen, which makes this place, in my opinion, a must grind spot for anyone who is not level 61 yet. That being said, I guess that's about it for the charts. Now of that, I could just show you the ranking, but first I would like to point out that if I reach that chart, I also looked at one of my Mystics sessions, the 48 minutes one, which I believe is session number 13. So basically the last session on my Mystic, the 5,300 monsters per hour session, just to see what my Mystic would get at level 60. Again, I converted her clearing speed to 5,000 monsters per hour just to be the same as my ranger. Skill experience wise, I expected it to be basically identical, since that doesn't really change much among different levels. But if you are looking for an experience rate at level 60, this is what I got on my Mystic. 1% per hour with no experience buffs, basically 100% experience rate, on top of which you should put your own buffs. So yeah, that's that for the video. Now for the ranking, this one is always going to be weird. Even after I made my new system for the rankings, it's still weird because I still don't fully know what to give it. For experience, it's an S++ area, just like the Underwater Ruins. For skill experience, when I made my chart, the new chart here, I was like, okay, I gave the S+++ 2 skill points and a half because there is no spot that will ever get close to that. And fast forward 1 week later, I already found a spot that has that much skill experience, so it gets a maximum of S and 3 pluses. Money per hour, I went for the 35 mark because realistically you're not gonna sell that those stones, the life spirit stones, so B+, and convenience about an A+ if the area stays as it is now. For the rotations, I mostly tried to grind one single rotation, so I gave it a 0, not a -1, not a 1, but 0. For repair, it doesn't have a repair NPC, which is kind of sad. And the other sad thing is that the Marni NPC is all the way close to Ronaros Forest. As far as I know, there are only 2 Marni NPCs, one at Ronaros Forest and the other one at Old Wisdom Tree, so that's also a little bit disappointing. You have to go all the way there for Marni stones. But still, PvP wise, I didn't encounter any PvP, but that might change. In general, overall, this is the only spot that got an A+ overall ranking, beating even those 2 areas that had A before. So yeah, that's that for the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you agree with my ranking and my numbers. If you don't, at least let me know why in the comments. Thanks for watching. I will see you with the next one, and until then, I stopped playing Shy. There's some bit of news for you. I went back to playing my Mystic just because Shy seems to be too slow for my playstyle. I will see you in the next one, and until then, goodbye.